minute, man. You give me enough goddamn money, man. Hey, look here, boy. You're a good fighter, boy, but you can't count with the shit, goddamn it. Give me my goddamn money. Hey!
We've done everything that can be done. So for the next couple of months, it's going to be touch and go.
Mrs. Gautier.
The insurance is expired, I know.
Does he have any other relatives? Anyone else that could possibly help?
No.
Leon! Leon! Leon!
She said she tried to call me 2 weeks ago. Nobody told me. Why?
You gave up your family when you joined the Legion.
I never gave up my family.
We'll contact the Americans and ask them to keep her under surveillance. Inspector, this man is a deserter, a traitor to France and a goddamn terrorist.
So you finally decided to grace us with your presence.
Helen, it was impossible for me to go. I put myself in a lots of trouble to get here. You and Nicole, we're family. You're my only family. Let me try to help you.
My man. Lion! The lion! The lion! All right. Who wants to take on the lion?
So if it ain't old Joshua.
I want you to meet somebody.
That, my man, is the lady. This is her show.
What's your name?
Leon.
You're up, stud.
Lionheart! King of the jungle!
In March of 1990, Lionheart arrived on the big screen in Argentina and made its way to the UK on the 21st of September, and in the USA in early January of 1991. The film was given a number of different titles throughout the world. In the UK, I knew it as AWOL. In Germany, it was titled Leon, France, Full Contact, the USA, Lionheart, and in Australia as Wrong Bet. I have no idea why they decided to change the names for each country, probably down to having different distributors, but this isn't uncommon. Many movies are retitled, but it happens far less now than it used to. The movie was given a relatively small budget of $3 million and proved successful worldwide, making over $25 million, and became a popular title on VHS. It's now regarded as a cult classic. The movie was initially never intended to be distributed in the USA. The producers saw the numbers, and Van Damme clearly had a strong market in Europe, and the film was intended to capitalise on that. At this point, Van Damme was seen as a rising star. His movies were successful, they could be funded for a couple of $1 million and made a lot of profit in return. A $2 million investment could net you back over $10 million at the box office, and further profits from home video. Jean-Claude was bankable, but Hollywood was still uncertain about his acting abilities. Cannon Films, who launched Jean-Claude's career with Bloodsport, just saw him as an action star and nothing else, and felt he lacked any strong acting skills. Jean-Claude was developing his own story that would later become Lionheart, to broaden his range of acting abilities. The writer of Bloodsport, Sheldon Lettish, became good friends with Jean-Claude, and this led to their working relationship. Sheldon had started his career wanting to be a director of photography, studying at the American Film Institute in Advanced Film Studies. During his time there, he picked up the skills to direct and honed his skills at writing. He produced and directed a short movie called Firefight. which was received well by his fellow filmmakers at the time, such as Sam Raimi, who showed it to Dino De Laurentiis, who offered Sheldon a directing deal, and Cannon Films had also shown an interest. What gave his career and name a boost was his work on Rambo 3, which furthered his credentials in writing. This led to Bloodsport and his strong friendship with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Sheldon saw more in Jean-Claude than just an action star. He wanted to push Van Damme's acting chops and show audiences he was more than just another guy who would just pump out action movies. This encouragement from Sheldon helped Jean-Claude to push forward with Lionheart. They both developed the script and got it funded by Imperial Entertainment. Imperial Entertainment made low-budget films, never anything on a grand scale. The catalogue of movies they distributed that I was aware of was the Nemesis films and Black Eagle, which also starred Jean-Claude, but only in a small role. But don't bother with Black Eagle, it's utter rubbish. I was fooled as a kid because the VHS cover had Van Damme all over it, and he's barely in it. The producers at Imperial Entertainment were concerned about Sheldon's directing skills, because at this point he had only directed a short movie, which made them cautious, but Jean-Claude begged them to let Sheldon direct it, and if he didn't do a good job he could be replaced early on. But thankfully Sheldon had the talent to hold the movie together and to run the production. Filming started in October of 1989 and ended in January of 1990, shot mostly in California in downtown LA. 1,000 guys had auditioned to be the fighters in the film. The auditions were held at Frank Dukes' studio. Frank also helped choreograph the fight scenes. This was when Frank Dukes and Jean-Claude were on good terms. As I mentioned earlier, it wasn't originally intended for US distribution. They managed to get the film shown to Jim Jacks, who was an executive at Universal Studios, and luckily he loved the movie, especially the sentimental storyline with the scenes between Leon and Nicole. Universal purchased the rights for distribution in the USA and Canada. This will be the first Van Damme film released stateside by a major film studio. Sheldon also showed the film to Sam Raimi, who also saw potential in Jean-Claude, and through the deal at Universal he went on to produce Hard Target and Time Cop with him. Now for the cast of AWOL, we have Jean-Claude Van Damme playing Leon. Leon is in the French Foreign Legion and is based in Africa. Him and his brother haven't seen each other for 5 years, but Leon remains loyal to him and wants to be there for him if he ever needed his help, but he is too late. His sister-in-law blames Leon for her husband's drug problems because of the issues of their past. Leon tries to regain their trust by taking part in street fights to help them financially and to take care of them in the long term. Harrison Page plays probably everyone's favourite character in the movie, the motor-mouth Joshua Eldridge.
Shit, boy, you bad motherfucker with that foreign shit, boy. Put it right there. Shit, goddamn you bad, boy. What you doing, man? Get the fuck out of my pocket. You crazy?
Harrison ad-libbed most of his lines throughout the film, often confusing Van Damme on set. The stutter he takes on in the movie was inspired by his father, who suffered from it. In real life, Harrison doesn't speak that fast. Harrison still works steadily today and is most fondly remembered for this role. Deborah Renard plays Cynthia, who runs an underground fight club that caters for the rich. She takes a fancy to Leon when she first meets him, I think down to him not being intimidated by her, and he plays very hard to get as she tries her best to win his affections. Deborah was a star of TV and probably best known for a role in Dallas. She later married writer and director Paul Haggis and pretty much reduced her acting roles since then. Lisa Pelican plays Helen, Leon's sister-in-law. Lisa has been acting since the early 70s and has mainly worked in TV movies and is still working to this day. Her character Helen is left with little money after the death of her husband and is struggling to pay the rent and is in fear of being kicked out on the streets with her child. Ashley Johnson plays Nicole, Helen's daughter. This was Ashley's first acting gig and has gone on to have a successful acting career, starring in many movies and TV shows, and even made a cameo in The Avengers playing the waitress who is saved by Captain America. Brian Thompson and his epic jawline plays Russell, Cynthia's right-hand man and bodyguard. Brian was good friends with the director while he was studying and got his first acting gig starring in the short movie Firefight alongside Frank Dukes. Brian often plays a heavy in action movies and is never really the star, but I'm sure many will remember him playing Shao Kahn in the dreadful Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Voyo Goric plays Sergeant Hartog and Michelle Kesey as Mustafar. They are the Legionnaires who are tracking down Leon. Michelle was Van Damme's old friend and played the main villain in Kickboxer. Abdul Kesey is Michelle's older brother and plays Attila. He returned to play the villain in two of Van Damme's movies, The Quest and The Order. We have friends of the director Sheldon making cameos, the producer Lawrence Bender playing one of the hecklers. Lawrence produced many of Tarantino's movies. We have Scott Spiegel making a quick cameo during the fight at the pool. Scott co-wrote Evil Dead 2. The movie opens in the slums of LA, where Leon's brother is attempting to buy some drugs, but he is conned by the dealers and set on fire. He is taken to hospital and is struggling for his life. His wife and child wait for updates on his condition, and the doctor realises they have no insurance. Leon is informed of his brother's condition and needs to leave his position in the French Foreign Legion, but his commander says he gave up his family when he joined the army, and he is led to be punished for his attitude. Leon decides to fight back and escape. He flees to the coast, but 2 legionnaires are on his case and hunting him down, and his desertion has been reported to the French embassy. Leon hides away on a ship and is forced to work for his free ride. As we can see, Van Damme is rocking his Simon Cowell trousers. Once he gets to the States, he needs to locate the hospital to see his brother. Along the way, he bumps into Joshua, an ex-fighter who runs fights for money. Leon needs to make some quick cash and gets involved and defeats his first opponent with a few kicks and punches. Joshua is impressed and sees Leon as a quick cash grab. He names Leon the Lion, which later changes to Lionheart. Joshua says he will help Leon locate his brother, but first he wants to introduce him to Cynthia, who does what Joshua does but on a bigger scale and for the rich elite. Leon has to prove himself and takes on a professional fighter this time, and he defeats him with one punch to the nuts. Leon takes his winnings and with Joshua head to the hospital to find his brother, but Leon is too late. His brother has passed away from his injuries. Leon goes to see Helen and bumps into her daughter Nicole, who is not aware who Leon is. Leon overhears she is having problems paying rent as she argues with the landlord. He confronts her and apologises for arriving late and explains he has got himself into trouble for leaving the army. She doesn't want to hear his story and doesn't want to accept his money either. Leon wants to support his sister-in-law and gain her trust. He feels the street fights would be the best way to earn the money he needs to help them. Cynthia begins to take a keen interest in Leon and begins to pamper and take care of him. And despite her advances, Leon shows no interest in her and is only concerned about helping his family. What a guy. Leon becomes a successful fighter and wins fight after fight. Because his sister-in-law wants nothing to do with Leon, Joshua uses the prize money to give to Leon's sister-in-law in the form of checks, with Joshua claiming to be from a life insurance firm, which her husband allegedly subscribed to long ago. Leon is happy to see Helen and Nicole are getting back on their feet, but he is unaware he is being watched by the 2 legionnaires who have come to take him back. When the film came out in Europe, it was released uncut, but unfortunately for American audiences, trims were made to the violence and bits of dialogue was removed. Nothing really drastic, but the odd cut here and there to reduce its length. When the movie arrived on Blu-ray in Germany, it was titled the Director's Cut, which I think is false advertising. It's just the European cut. For the UK market, the Blu-ray release we got was the US transfer, hence why some scenes were trimmed, which angered some of the fans who previously owned it on VHS or say Laserdisc, which was the European version. When I picked up the German Blu-ray, which was packaged in this weird media book, I thought, hey, this contains footage I've not seen before. But when I watched it, I noticed I'd seen all this footage. Platinum Cult Edition also published this Blu-ray as well, which is sadly sold out. But you can get copies through private sellers, but don't pay too much. Some sellers are charging nearly £100. For anyone who hasn't seen the European cut, here's what you are missing. The film stock changes when it cuts to the scenes that were removed from the US version, so it's easier to point them out. The burning of Leon's brother is extended slightly. There is extra bits of dialogue between Leon and his superior officer, and as he escapes from the barracks. Leon walking through the back streets is extended. Van Damme confronting the doctor about his brother. The doctor needs proof of who he says he is. Leon has no ID, but the doctor finally believes him and informs him of his brother's passing. Helen speaks a little bit of French to Leon when he first approaches her. When Leon decides to leave Cynthia's apartment because he can't train surrounded by a life of luxury, you see Cynthia throw a major wobbly and tells him to get out, and this begins the downfall of their working relationship. She turns against him. There's an extra bit of dialogue between Leon and Russell, and finally when Leon is taken to hospital for the injuries sustained from the fight between the 2 legionnaires, Cynthia visits him and suddenly starts showing sympathy towards him, but she uses his now weakness due to his broken rib against him. with the big fight against Attila. To be honest, you're not really missing much. The original cut doesn't make it far superior to the US version, but if you have the option, then of course grab the European cut. British composer John Scott composed the score to AWOL. John was an accomplished musician and conductor, and has worked with many of the top directors of the 70s and 80s. The producers of Lionheart had originally budgeted the movie to have a cheap synthesizer score, which was a very common trait of movies of this budget, and was still a contemporary way to go. But once the producers saw the rough cut, they were so impressed with the movie, they put forward a further $250,000 to fund a full-blown orchestral score. The music really stands out and gives a lot of the emotional scenes so much weight. If they had gone with a cheap synthesizer soundtrack, then it wouldn't have had the same impact it did on those scenes. The main theme for Leon is the standout piece and pops up throughout the movie. The big moment that always gets you cheering is when he fights back at the end against Attila, and the music kicks into full gear, and when he finally returns to Nicole and Helen, it has this triumphant finale. There is plenty of great action cues littered throughout the score. My favourite is when he gets attacked by the soldiers who are tracking him down. Also the slower musical moments which incorporate a lot of jazz with the scenes between Joshua and Leon. The music is certainly very epic, and it feels like it belongs to a movie with stronger visuals, but no filmmaker would turn down a full-blown orchestral score to give their film that extra level of production value. The movie also includes a lot of pop music, most apparent during the montage of him trying on those ghastly suits, and the track No Mercy that features during the final fight. But none of the tracks are available by any official means. I tried looking everywhere and had no luck. I'm not sure if they were done exclusively for the film. They weren't featured on the soundtrack, and as far as I'm aware weren't published separately, which is a shame because they are proper cheesy and catchy. The score was released on CD at the time, and a lot of the music was published. It wasn't a cheap 30-minute album, but sadly it's been out of print for years and commands high prices on eBay and Amazon. A few tracks were included in some best of Van Damme collections, but nothing you can download easily via iTunes, for example. Some Blu-ray releases came with the soundtrack included, but they are also out of print. But some people have uploaded the complete score to YouTube, so that is probably the best way to listen to it without spending huge amounts of money on the original CD release. AWOL, Leon, or Lionheart as you may know it, is one of my favourite Van Damme movies as a kid. As I've mentioned before in my previous reviews of Jean-Claude's movies, I went through this phase of picking up his back catalogue of films around 1994, and most were going very cheap. You had to own Bloodsport and Kickboxer. If you don't have them in your Van Damme collection, then you are sorely missing out. But I came across this movie AWOL in my local W.H. Smith's. It looked pretty cool, and it took some begging to my mum to let me have it. Like most of his films, they were rated 18. If you watch the movie now, it's not really graphically violent at all. It mostly contains a lot of swearing from Motormouth Joshua. To my surprise with this movie, it wasn't all about fighting. It had a solid story that had a lot of heart and interesting characters. Jean-Claude's previous movies, to be honest, had flimsy stories that strung together these entertaining action sequences. You spent most of your time just waiting for the next fight to break out. But with AWOL, you weren't just waiting for another punch-up to occur. I felt more invested in the friendship of Leon and Joshua, and how he was going to help his sister-in-law and her daughter. Being a young teen at the time, it was certainly satisfying with its inclusion of high-flying kicks, and with each opponent there was a variety of different characters. One is a wrestler, one is Scottish for example, but when I look at it now, it's certainly pretty simple with its choreography and the selection of moves they pull off. What the film does is now a classic trait of Van Damme's earlier movies. They repeat punches and kicks from different angles, so one punch could equal 4 in an edit, which is a very cheap way to extend a fight. It worked for the time I suppose, but when you look at what Jackie Chan was doing at the time in say Police Story or Operation Condor, Van Damme's efforts really failed to match in quality. Nothing beats however the hilarious edit in the movie Death Warrant. What the fuck was that? I felt the big fight at the end with Attila was always a big letdown for me. It's mostly just a bland punch-up. It could have had Attila doing some wrestling techniques to take advantage of his size. There are loads of repeat edits, and it only gets exciting when Leon fights back. When they team up again in The Quest, it's a bit more exciting, but that as well is underwhelming and forgettable. I suppose it's down to what you want to see from a fight. If you like quick fast hits that take their opponents down quickly, then Van Damme's approach may seem ideal. But for me, the more martial arts movies I watched, I wanted more than just one kick or a punch. Hong Kong cinema was really the way to go if you wanted to watch elaborate and technically difficult fight sequences. The movie tries to do something original or less conventional than what we've seen before in a Van Damme movie. It doesn't attempt to be a generic revenge storyline. It does seem at first as Leon wants to avenge his brother, but his attitude changes and the movie takes a different direction as he puts all his efforts into supporting his sister-in-law and her child. It's surprising to see Leon not fall for Cynthia. With most of Van Damme's films he often sleeps with one woman, but he decides to not mix business with pleasure, and even though he warms to her, he never drops his guard and gets emotionally invested. His character is portrayed as quite naive and too honest, and falls into the trap of putting faith in Cynthia, which leads to him being betrayed by her as she bets against him in the final fight. AWOL is a nice example of demonstrating that Jean-Claude could act to a decent level. He could display his emotions genuinely on screen, and could deliver long lines of dialogue. In movies such as Kickboxer or Cyborg, he was always given little to say, and because of his accent and the strength of his English, his dialogue was often shortened to avoid his performance from suffering. AWOL gave him the opportunity to show that he was a leading man, and could be taken seriously, and not be considered another action star with a shelf life of say 5 years. There was more to him than just doing the splits. Demonstrating his anger and emotions on camera is something that Van Damme can do well and sell to the audience. You only need to watch the movie JCVD, which has one of his best performances. He does speak his native language in that, and you have to remember English is not his first language, so to be able to give dramatic performances and long takes with complicated dialogue can be a challenge for most people, and the more movies he made, the stronger his performances got. There is of course movies he made in the 90s and into the early 2000s where he clearly doesn't give a shit about the film and just needs to do it to pay the bills, but despite that I think he has better acting chops than say Arnold Schwarzenegger, Steven Seagal and Dolph Lundgren. You only need to observe movies such as this or Nowhere to Run, Sudden Death and of course JCVD to see that. For Sheldon's first feature-length movie he does a very good job. It's not a visually striking film or going to win any awards for a direction so to speak, but he tells the story effectively and everything is made clear in the camera setups. It's all very neatly put together. The fight scenes are covered well and you can tell the filmmakers are passionate about the story they are telling, and efforts have been made to bring out the strengths of the actors to bring some genuine heart and drama to the story. Lionheart has a strong fan base, and often when I discuss his movies with other people, it always gets mentioned. And my viewers have asked me a lot to cover the film over the last few years, so I knew people were still fond of it. One of the best things to come out of the film was a mashup of Street Fighter 2. YouTube user The Van Damme Fan uploaded a video in late 2009, which was basically Street Fighter 2 meets Lionheart. It's a wonderfully edited video with the original video game music and sound effects added over the top. He has created graphics similar to the game, with the use of the energy bars, and it really captures the essence and feel of the classic coin-up. It's better than the official movie with Van Damme that arrived in 1994. This is the best Street Fighter movie. It's one of my favourite videos on YouTube, so go watch it if you haven't seen it before. It's pure Van Damme gold. I definitely recommend this movie. You have to be a fan of Jean-Claude to get the most out of it, of course, but if you weren't that impressed with something like Cyborg or Double Team, then I think AWOL would certainly change your opinion on him, hopefully for the better. The movie isn't difficult to track down. I think a few people have cheekily uploaded it to YouTube, but the Blu-ray, i.e. the US cut, can be obtained easily, and the transfer is very good, far better than those awful pan and scan releases from the 90s. The film is by no means a masterpiece, but there was a lot of great stuff in there, and the honest and heartwarming story really makes it stand out as one of Jean-Claude's better efforts in his large catalogue of movies.
Here? Oh man, these dudes did a number on you, Holmes. Do you know what you need, man? You need karate lessons, man. That way nobody will mess with you. I mean, look at you. You got a broken rib. You're gonna have to stay in bed for a month, Holmes.
Do me a favor.
Yo.
Don't talk to nobody about my rib. Tonight, I'll have a fight. A big fight, lots of money. And if I win, I would like to take you and Nicole away from this place, away from this city, and leave all the bad stuff behind us.
All right, what is it, man? Hey. Huh? You been hiding something all week long. What's going down, man? Huh? Nothing, huh? Nothing?
Hey.
You know what's circulating out there, man? Huh? 12 million motherfucking dollars, man. Cynthia's friends have come through like a motherfucker, man. And then I hear this shit about Attila. Man, this dude's already bagged 8 bodies.
I'll beat him.
Beat him? You ain't gonna beat him now if y'all fucked up. How you gonna beat him if y'all fucked up?
Beat the guy. I have to.
You don't have to do shit, motherfucker, but get yourself all fucked up like I did. Is that what you want? Be out there on the street, motherfucker, running $5 fights with winos and junkies?
I'm gonna take you away from this shitty business. You and my family.
This dude's gonna kill your ass, man! Don't you know that? That dude's gonna kill your ass! Don't you know that? It's on him, man. The whole back's on Attila.
Wrong bet.
Lionheart!
If you enjoyed the video, you can find more on my YouTube channel, and also you can follow me on Twitter. If you want to help support the channel, you can donate through Patreon and receive monthly perks such as updates on the latest news on my channel, early access to reviews and commentaries before they go live on YouTube. Even the smallest donation can help keep this channel going. Thank you.